Now we want to start assembling our cube and turning the faces so we have a cube. We will use orientation for that. We start with the left. We notice it should go -90. It will turn. And now right, we will open the rotation and give it 90. That makes sense. Then we go to the bottom. We use rotation and we change the orientation and we rotate the x-axis by 90 degrees. Then we take the top one and we open the rotation. We rotate the x-axis by -90. So it's pretty easy. One is the inverse of the rest. I'm going to do the back side now. I will take front and duplicate it, press enter and call it back. Let's close the layers before to see what we are doing. Select all and click on the arrow, it will close. Take back and drop it. Now we make back 3-dimensional, open the position, and it makes sense that it's 450 on the Z plan and it's in the back. Let's look at how we can see it. We take two views horizontal and change to 100%, then click we get a custom view 1, for example, to be able to rotate and see it with the camera tool. Let's choose the camera tool and we are rotating here, and you see very well that your cube is really a 3-dimensional cube on all sides and it doesn't have any gaps. Now we have all our compositions. Let's create a folder, call it cube sides, and we put all the sides inside this folder just to make sure that we are arranging things and that they are not all over the place. This arrangement is always important that you do, otherwise things will go very crazy. Select your backside, double click, and let's change the colors in the backside so we make a difference between the front and the back. We go to the effect controls, click on effect control, click on the color and change it to any color you want. Doesn't have to be light blue or anything. Go back to your main composition and let's choose custom view 1. Choose the camera tool and rotate. You will notice now the backside has changed colors, and that's why we have created compositions within the project file, so to have a different design in each composition in each side. Now you want to animate your cube to rotate on its middle axis. For that we will use the null layer. Go to layer, new, null object. Notice the anchor point in the middle. We make it the 3-dimension. The anchor point is in the middle with the anchor point of the front face. Let's change views to see this exactly. We will go to two views horizontal. On the left side I will choose, for example, left view will do. If I select the null, you will see it is in the middle of the front face. Now I need to move it in the middle and the center of the front face. Obviously I will change the position to 450 divided by 2. That will be in the middle, and here you are. It is exactly in the middle of the cube. Select all your layers, go to parent, open one of them, parent all to null one. They are now parented. It's important that we test. Open the rotation, press R and scrub through the X axis. You notice it is rotating very fine. You have created a perfect center, and the Y also. The Z, of course, it will not be obvious here. So what I will do, give it some orientation. For example, it's 10 degrees, 5 degrees, and then scrub through the Z. You notice it is really rotating in the center of your rotation. Let's undo all this. Give it a small inclination, let's say 10 degrees, so you can see the top of the cube. Now you want to start the animation. Keyframe the rotation at 0. Go to 1 second is enough, and you can here give it any number of rotations that you want. I will give it just 1. You could give it 3, 4, as much as you want. Now we need to create a pre-comp. I will close all the layers, go to the beginning, test it a bit. Yeah, it's working. Run a RAM preview. It rotates for a second. That's very fine. Select all the layers, right click and create a pre-comp. Maybe we'll call it cube dash rotating. You could call it anything you want. And we press OK. Now we have a 5-second pre-comp. We don't want that. We want 1 second. Click on null. Press K to go to the last keyframe, and then press N to trim your work area and trim comp to work area. There is always an extra frame. you need always to remove it. So just push the layer to the timeline indicator. We go back to the main comp, run a RAM preview, and see how things are happening. That's very good. We have only one rotation. To have indefinite rotations, we will use time remapping. Right click on your layer, go to time and say enable time remapping. We adjust the time remapping. It will go from 0 to 1 second and 0, 1. Let's make it 100 only. Of course, we want it to rotate indefinitely. Press alternate and the stopwatch of the time wrap, and inside write loop out. Notice how I'm gonna write out with a big O. Okay, let's run a RAM preview. Now the animation is going through. Now the cube rotating is gonna rotate all the time during the composition, the main composition. If your composition is 30 seconds, it will do it for 30 seconds. It will not stop rotating. What's good about this technique, you know, you have a pre-comp that you can size and you can place anywhere you want in your main composition. And if you run a RAM preview, the cube will still rotating indefinitely during the composition time. Let's create a simple position animation. Go to the beginning of the timeline, bring up position, keyframe it, go to, for example, 29 seconds, move your cube and change the Bezier handles so you have a kind of curve. Move further down the timeline, move your cube, move even further and move it again. It's just a path that I'm creating so you can see how it will operate. This node is not Bezier. I will right click and I will say keyframe interpolation and change it to Bezier from here. And that's a small tip you'll learn, and adjust it the way you like. That's very nice. You can create any animation. The purpose here is to show you that during a secondary animation the cube is rotating 100%. So the primary animation is the cube rotating, the secondary animation is the cube going around the path. You can now create a useful animation, for example. That would be nice. Let's go to the beginning, position, and for example, delete the keyframes. That will be nice. Let's delete this one and the intermediate one. Make this keyframe a linear keyframe. Fine. And the other one also has become linear, but let's check. It is both linear. Fine. Let's put it in the beginning and the end of the composition, so your cube will come from one side to another side. Let's use time reverse to have it coming from the right, and we'll take it outside the comp, run a RAM preview. Now you have like a lower third coming in, your cube come from the right side to the left side. Now if you want to change the speed of the cube, you can do it from here, and really good. Let's change the composition time. Let's make it 30 seconds. You'll have to extend the time for the pre-comp inside. Just click and drag to the end of the composition. Really doesn't matter. And let's run a RAM preview. Now to slow it down, we select your cube rotating pre-composition, press U. You will get all the keyframes. And then all we have to do is to move the keyframe for the time wrap further down the timeline. And here you are, it has really slowed down. Now it's showing like a couple of faces by the time it gets there and start turning. In the next lecture we will decorate the cube.